Subscribe, please.
Hey guys, I want to just take and throw this little addendum onto the front of the video before I got started into the last part of the review through. There's been a lot of talk on BGG and some of the other Facebook groups about Corsair Leader having a lot of errors or misprints or things like that. And while there are some, there aren't, an ungodly amount of it. And some people are giving the game undue criticism, I would say. Yes, it's okay to be a little upset about, things being misprinted or misspelled or, any of that stuff. I pointed out a couple when I was doing the review through process. But you got to understand, this is a small company, a small group of people working on it. And when you do work on something like this and you're staring at the same thing for an extended period of time, it becomes very easy to take and miss these small little errors. I've done it myself on plenty of videos. In my mind, I'm seeing everything correct, but there's a glaring error that a fresh pair of eyes is going to take and see. So then when you expound that out towards thousands of people looking at it, they're all going to find the errors that the small group of people missed. And that's just going to happen. Don't let that turn you off of what is a very good game. And it's very worthwhile on playing it. And besides, some of the errors in it aren't errors that DVG made. These are errors that were probably made at the printer, which is going to happen with any game. So it's not something to sweat about. They're already working on the errata as it is. So that will be out here soon. I know some people are going to accuse me of being fanboy-ish for, making these statements about it. But I'll criticize someone where, it's due. There are comments that I made of extra counters or thicker cards that I said that I would have liked to have seen in the game. I'll call out that stuff. But typographical errors and simple misprints, that's going to happen. It's going to happen in every game. Don't hate on them, especially the company that has some of the top best customer service I've ever seen in a company. Cut them a little slack when they do have errors that everyone's going to have. All right, now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and I'm here with the final part of my review through covering Corsair Leader by DVG. Gotta say, I'm loving this game. A couple of things real quick before we pick up with our last secondary mission. One, I realized I'm a dumbass. I've been spelling Corsair Leader wrong on most of the things, so if you guys see I've been leaving out that R, I apologize for that. One thing I did want to touch on that I covered in the previous video, I had goofed up one of the rules just a little bit, and it involved engagement and when bandits engage and when they engage with your pilots. And basically, I had it in my head that is done in basically speed order. So like fast, bandits, slow, handling that. And it's not actually done that way. So if we have, a couple of my pilots here, let's say this bottom one is a bomber, and they both enter this region, I was thinking that, if these are slow pilots, then the bandit's going to engage first, and he's going to obviously select my bomber to go after. But actually, if you have an unengaged escort, you can choose to take and engage him with a bandit. Then if you have, unengaged bandits and unengaged bombers, then they're going to go after the bombers if they've got choices and they're not engaged by escorts. So I was wrong on that one. You don't have to do it kind of the way I did it in the first one where I had a plane hanging back because I didn't want it to be targeted. So we're going to take and finish up here with the secondary mission, the small dogfight that I had drawn when we were selecting our targets. I went ahead and drew out until I got a couple of zeros to take and throw on here for our combat. And I'm including a optional rule at this point because I want to show you guys how that optional rule is going to work. Now, what you can do is you can pay a few extra SO points and you can make it to where you can either bring one more or one less aircraft on a mission. And if you bring more, then you subtract a victory point from what you could possibly earn. And if you bring less and you take and complete the mission, then you get an extra victory point. So it's a neat little addition you could go with. For me, it wouldn't make sense to normally do it because this mission only provides one victory point. So effectively, by bringing an extra plane, it's a wash. But otherwise, I was just going to have 2 aircraft against 2 aircraft, and I wanted to have one extra one so I could show you guys how it was going to work when they would engage, and then one would be kind of engaging from a neutral position, how that's going to work. When we get done playing this out, we'll take and go over some final thoughts for the game and let you guys know what I think, and that'll wrap up our review through. All right, so my previous pilots I've got tucked over to the side. This is the same day's mission, so they're not going to be going on it. I've got 3 new pilots who are going. We've got Roland, Figueroa, and who's the other one going on this? Caldwell. Yeah, Caldwell. So he's over here. I've got 1 on this far side and then 2 on this side, basically to divide them up. It really doesn't matter. I could put all 3 this way and they would engage the same, but you know, thematically, just to make them divide up, kind of like my forces are, you know, flying in and seeing zeros and zooming in on them. So we will take and get started. I've already done all the pre-flight stuff, drawing and getting the target card, getting the bandits here. Just to save a little time, we need to do our target bound event card and then get started with this. So our target bound event card is going to be Bad Briefing. Redraw sites. Okay, this one isn't actually going to affect us. So redrawing sites, there are no sites. I'm going to go, since this says sites specifically, that's not going to include bandits, and just leave the bandits that I've drawn there. Normally you would take and redraw any sites that you got to represent, I guess what they're going for is like representing that, you know, they had bad information and you didn't find out exactly what was going on. So, oh well. And we drew our target bound, we placed our aircraft, placed our bandits, no intel air adjustment, which from what someone was saying on the previous video is that I might have had the timing wrong on that one, that the event card cost me an intel point. And what they were saying is that the intel, basically I wouldn't gain the bonus intel from the target mission itself until after I got back, so that the target or the event card would happen beforehand, moving it to the left, and since I was already all the way to the left, there would be no effect, and then I would get the 1 boost. So effectively I should be 1 farther ahead. So neat little thing. All right, we got over that, and now we get to do our draw over our target event card. Our target event card, remember, is the middle one. You may pay 2 SO points to give 1 pilot 1 extra gung-ho counter. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. The thing with this is, normally I kind of always think of the event cards as being bad juju. Most of the time they don't have good things in them, but after thumbing through the deck the other day, it kind of seems like there's more like a 50-50 ratio of good stuff potentially happening. And who are we going to give it to? I'll tell you what, I'll give it to Figueroa, since he has the lower air-to-air skill. He has only a +0, while these 2 have +1, so they've got a bonus there. So we've drawn our over target event card. Turn counter is in turn 1, and now we do our over target 5 times. Dive bombers. And I did look over that just to make sure I was right on that. Basically, whatever altitude you pick is where you're at for this, unless you are a dive bomber. So that is correct on that. And that's one thing to keep in mind when you have sights, specifically on what you're going to go after. But when it's bandits, you'll notice they don't have an altitude, because it's not going to matter. They're going to engage your pilots at low or high. They're going to engage you wherever. So it doesn't matter what altitude you're at for bandits, but enemy bombers are going to be high, while enemy sights obviously going to be low. Sorry, bumping the camera there. All right, and now fast pilots attack, sights and bandits attack, slow pilots attack. We haven't got there yet. And aircraft move. Now what I'm thinking is, since these guys are like this, normally they would select randomly, but it really doesn't matter. One's going to go one way and one's going to go the other. Or I guess they could both technically go this way, but I'm going to have one go each way, specifically because I do want to show you guys how a unengaged escort would handle combat. So we're going to have one come over here, and the bandits are going to come over here for our movement step. These guys are going to engage. These guys are going to engage. And now they're engaged into their combat. Now we're back down to advance the turn counter. And now we're into round 2. And now we're back to our fast, bandit, and slow maneuvers. Now, situational awareness can be used. Those counters, where is one of those? Let me grab one. To take and make it to where your pilots will attack in a phase that they normally wouldn't attack in. So these slow pilots that I have, if one of them had a situational awareness, which you can see they all have a 0 for their situational awareness, it's right next to the gung-ho count, you could take and use that situational awareness to take and attack in the fast. But you would also still attack in slow. So it's not like you're just attacking in the different phase, you get to attack in both phases. Now I'm thinking about using a gung-ho because I didn't use one before. And basically it looks like you can either treat a pilot as okay, ignore an effect of damage, or get a perfect attack. So I'll probably use one for a perfect attack. We'll start over here on the left and we'll work our way to the right. So the bandits are going to go first on what they're going to do. We're back to our little dogfighty sheet here. And this 0 has a -1, and my guy that is engaged with him, Roland here, has a +1. So this is going to be similar to the combat that we did in our previous video, where it's effectively a -2 for the enemy aircraft. This one has a 0, so it's only going to be a +1 that's going to be considered for my aircraft. So enemy D10 plus his air-to-air, which is negative, and this is where he's determining. Again, he's in neutral position, so he's either going to do one of these maneuvers with the numbers next to it. Let's roll and see what he's going to do. He got an 8. Ooh, he went big. -1 is going to drop him down to a yo-yo. So let's see how well he does on the yo-yo. Come on. 8. Ooh, he got good again. That's going to drop him back down to a 7 now. So he's going to get a +1 position and a +1 to his attack. That is not good for us. So this effectively means Roland is now going to be in a disadvantaged position because the enemy aircraft is gaining a position on him and the aircraft is getting a +1 to his attack. Now, this is something, it's kind of a minor thing, but I would have liked to have had a couple of informational counters for situations like this for plus to your attack. Just 1 or 2 of them that you could set down there just to remember. You can use a dice or a stress thing just to remember though. I'm going to just place a 1 here just to keep it in my head that this guy's getting a +1 to his attack, which effectively is just going to neutralize his -1. Okay, so his maneuver, oh no wait, his maneuver was a -2, which would have put him at a 6, but he still gets that +1 position and attack. So he still is in the same position because he is also subtracting mine in that. So now he's doing his attack, which is again going to be the enemy AA minus the friendly, but he's getting the +1. So effectively he's getting -1, -1, and then a +1 to his attack to see what he's going to get. And that's where we're going to be looking at his roll. So he's effectively getting just a total of -1. All right, come on. No biggie, no biggie, no biggie. 8. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so -1 drops him down to a 7. A 7 gives a damaged result. I really don't want to take the damaged result. So what we're going to do is Roland is going to pop his gung-ho marker, and he's going to take and treat that as a no effect. So effectively, the enemy did not get to attack. Now, Figueroa gets to attack, or I get to attack back rather, and then Figueroa gets to attack. Let's see, I need to gain a position on this guy, and since I am disadvantaged, where am I going to go? I get a +2 to it. I can pull this off because that was just for his attack. I need to get at least up into here so I can get disadvantaged to advantaged or to neutral. +1 position. Okay, +2 positions with a half loop. That's +1 position in our attack. Okay, I think we'll go with a yo-yo, because if I get at least here, I'm getting a +1 position in attack, and if I do it here, I'm getting a negative to my attack if I score low. So yeah, we're gonna go with a yo-yo. All right, we're hoping for this or higher. Let's see what we get here. Come on, we're getting a +2 on this. No, son of a bitch. Okay, our yo-yo, we got a 1 +2, which gives us a 3, so I get a -1 to my attack, but I don't get to attack anyway because I'm at a disadvantaged position. So normally this would be a no effect, or this would be the end of their combat if there were no other aircraft in the area, because I couldn't shoot, and then the next time we came around to combat, then it would kick off. But I've got Figueroa here who can take and attack, and since I gave Figueroa an extra gung-ho marker, I'm gonna take and pop that gung-ho marker and use that to give myself a guaranteed 10 attack to take this guy out, because for some reason he's doing pretty well against Roland. Well, let's roll and just see what he would have got anyway. Now, you treat the attack as neutral. So, one thing I did just remember that I forgot, that guy would have gotten a +1 also to his attack for being advantaged. So effectively, he would have destroyed me had I not popped my gung-ho to stop the attack, to give it a no effect. So that's something you definitely need to keep in mind. All right, so like I said, I'm popping gung-ho to give myself a 10 attack normally, but in this case, when you just have an unengaged escort just jumping in like dogpiling, you treat it as a neutral attack, and you're basically just rolling for your gun score just to see if you could get it. And this guy's A to A is nothing, so he wouldn't be adding anything. Normally, I would just be looking for an 8 or up to see if I got him. See, it was 6, but like I said, we popped our gung-ho marker to give that a perfect 10 to take out this enemy fighter, knock him down. So that's how you're going to handle a neutral attacker like that. They're just going to be, or a extra attacker rather, and it's going to be the same whether it's a bandit or if it's one of yours. You're going to just take and pop him on in and attack from a neutral position, or consider a neutral position, but you won't be rolling for maneuvering or getting any bonuses. You just flat treat it as neutral, no bonus, but you do get to add your AA into it. Okay, now we're going to do one more attack over here, see if Caldwell can finish off his bandit. His bandit does get to go first. His bandit again is neutral, but he has a 0, so basically whatever he rolls is what he gets. Hopefully he'll roll low. He got a 2, so he's doing a tight turn. Well, let's see what he gets here. Now he gets to subtract my AA, so he's getting a -1 to his roll. He's getting an 8, which gets him a 7, so he gets +1 position. So again, they got me in a disadvantaged position. Oh, not good. So that gives him a +1. Now he's doing his attack, +1, -1. His AA is 0, but he's subtracting mine, and then he's getting the +1 position from his, or +1 from his being advantaged. So effectively, he's just rolling. All right, +1, -1, and let's see what he gets. Come on, no whammy. I don't want to have to pop another gung-ho marker here. Oh, he got the destroyed. Oh man, I gotta do it. I gotta pop. I've got to pop the gung-ho marker to keep from losing Caldwell. All right, let's take and roll again. Here, I've got to get some positions. Do I want to go with yo-yo again? Yeah, we're gonna go with yo-yo, and I get to add +1 to it. Normally, I would be subtracting his AA, but again, his AA is 0. So let's take and roll and see what we get. +1. 7, that gets me an 8. Okay, I get a +1 position, so I'm back to neutral, and I get a bonus to my attack. We'll pop that 1 down so I remember that. So now I'm getting a bonus to my attack and neutral, so +0, but I get my innate AA ability. So that gives me a +2 total for my attack. My gun rating is 8. All of theirs is 8, so basically, I'm looking for a 6 or up to take this guy out. Come on, 6 or up. Let's take him out. 6, that's what I'm talking about right there. We take him out, but I had to burn all my damn gung-ho markers to take and get these guys down. And just like that, we finished it off. And like I said, normally we would have gotten 1 victory point for this mission, but since I was showing you guys just a few extra things by bringing an extra aircraft and showing how that's going to work, if you take that optional rule for the game, you're going to subtract 1 from the missions, from the victory points that you take and bring that extra aircraft. So there would have been no reason to run this secondary mission. It just would stress out your airplanes and potentially get them destroyed. Cool part though of this mission is, since it is just a small dogfight and light objective, it gives -1 stress to the planes that fly it. So any planes that flew this would reduce their stress by 1, and the location for this one, target 25, is in the 1 stress area. So effectively it's a wash. The mission was no gain, no loss, no anything. It's effectively like we didn't run it. So let's draw our return event card and see what else happens on our way home. At the end of the day, subtract 1 extra stress from all pilots who do not fly on the mission. So we would be, who did not fly on a mission. So that, I see that now. Okay. At the end of the day, so any aircraft that I had that did not fly this day, so these set of missions that I drew for, they would be able to reduce an extra stress, which normally they would reduce it by 2 plus whatever their cool rating is. So that effectively would make it 3 in whatever their cool rating is. I told you, it just seems like they have more good event cards in this than they have previously. All right, let's just take and cover a few final thoughts here real quick on the game. It's very easy to see from the little bit that I've played on camera for you guys so far that I love the game. I think it's really cool. If you've played a leader game before, it's more of what you've played before. If you played Hornet Leader, this is going to feel very familiar. If you played Down in Flames, it's going to feel like Hornet Leader with Down in Flames. I mean, that's effectively what the game is. But it's not just that. There's all this little extra stuff and nuance that they added to it that I really do like the carrier operations and the island operations. There's rules in this for obviously operating off carrier. You're going to double the amount of aircraft that are involved though. So the amount of aircraft that you can select, you're going to double. And then there's roles and modifiers for taking off and landing from the aircraft carrier and how that's going to work. So that's a neat addition to it. And then when you get into island operations, there's building up your island, building up the base itself. And you're going to have maintenance crews and all of your buildings. Okay, so they're going to give you bonuses as you build these things up, and you'll get like construction points from taking on missions that you can build. Obviously your runway, maintenance area, supply depot, housing, officers club, coast watchers, PBY pier. And when it starts out, it's going to be under construction. So it's going to be like for our runway, uneven dirt. At the end of the mission, roll for each aircraft. If 1 to 3 aircraft suffers 1 minor damage. But once you get it built, there's no effect, nothing to worry about. So you want to upgrade this as soon as you can. Once it's established, it's paved. At the end of the mission, remove 1 minor damage from each aircraft. So it starts out as a negative, but it works its way to a neutral and then to a positive as you build your base up. That's just an excellent addition to the game, because when you throw things like this together with your linked campaigns, you can play multiple campaigns where you're simulating operating off a carrier deck, or you're operating off the island operations, and you're building yourself up as you go. And it almost gives it a RPG feel in the fact that you're leveling up your pilots, you're getting higher skills with them, you're hoping not to lose them, you get attached to those pilots, you're trying to keep their stress levels down, you're effectively having to manage your carrier, your base, with your squadron. And who are you going to send out? Oh, too many of my pilots are stressed out. I'm going to have to send out this guy, and he's real close to the edge, and hope he doesn't take any more unless he will get unfit and he won't be able to fly again. They really did take this game and push it to the next level and everything that you can do with it. Like I said, huge stack of campaigns that you can do that are fun in and of themselves and give you plenty of gameplay. But then when you add these little extras in of linked campaigns,
carrier operations, island operations, and the final countdown scenario, basically the modern jets that you can take and play as well, just for shits and giggles. There's just a hell of a lot of fun to be had with it. Like I said, the game isn't absolutely perfect. There are a few things that I would like to have seen, like just a little bit thicker cards. I actually spilled a drop of water on one of the cards. I don't remember which, just a little condensation on a drink that I was taking, and I noticed it started to bubble up real quick. So they're not very resistant to possible staining or anything like that, which you shouldn't be getting your games wet. You know, like, I'm just dumb. I'll have accidents every now and then. I got young kids, so I would have liked to have seen those be just a little thicker. And like I said, reminder counters for the dogfighting, just to have that. But that's something you can easily fix with a D6 that you just place over to the side and not worry about it. All in all, excellent game. I gotta say, this is probably now my top favorite DVG Leader series game. It used to be Sherman Leader. I thought they really nailed it with Sherman Leader, but they knocked it out of the park. I am loving Corsair Leader. I highly recommend it. Thoroughly have enjoyed it. Everything going. But if you're into the Pacific Theater, like, I'll go ahead and admit I have a bias because of my Marine background and my extreme obsession with the Pacific Theater in World War II. So that's going to influence my, love of this, because it's right up my alley. So if you're interested in those time frames, I mean, this is all for you. I gotta say, definitely recommend it. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review through. And just as an FYI, I'm hitting that point where most of my stuff is packed up. I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of videos coming out for the next little bit until I get all my games and boxes and everything moved over to the new house. But like I said, I will have a quieter space and extra insulation in my filming room now, and a little more room, so I'll be able to take and play bigger games for you guys. Like, I'm looking forward to getting Atlantic Wall down to multiple tables to try that one out. So you guys stay tuned for that. I should get moved. I'll put up a update video when I'm breaking down completely, and then I'll be shut down for 2 or 3 weeks. But all right, you guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.